Hi guys, Rachel the Spunky Misfit Girl here, and I decided to go ahead and film this tonight even though I ran out of daylight. So apologies if the lighting is a little difficult. Someday I hope to have a studio where I can just set up and leave my lights and everything set up so that it's quick and easy to film, but today is not that day. So this was a really fun little project that actually started out as something very small, just these little flippy pockets here, and kind of turned into a whole journal, which was a new creation of my own making. So we're gonna start out with the little pockets and just see where we get to from there. I'm gonna kind of make it up as I go along, kind of following this idea, but we'll see what happens. So the original inspiration from this, I said in my last video that I thought it was Liz the Paper Project. I was wrong. It's from Pink Strawberries. So I will link to her video in the description as usual. And she used 4.5 by 6 paper for hers, and I just kind of was experimenting, so I used some scraps. So I'm gonna kind of do the same thing, and I don't think it matters. These are not double-sided, these ones that I think I'm gonna use, although I have a whole bunch of papers here that are double-sided that I can also use if it turns out they need to be. But so let's just try this out first. So the idea was that you take your paper and you fold from your bottom corner on the right up to the left. So you fold that triangle, that bottom triangle up just like that. And then you fold your top down. Like this. And then you come over on this other side. And I don't know why that turned out kind of backward like that. I guess maybe because of the side of the paper. Anyway, so then the next thing you do is you want to fold this guy in like this, and you can see this goes the other way from how my previous ones went, which means it's going to be a little trickier. Because what was nice about these is that they formed a very natural, you see, this forms a very natural kind of flap that can get glued in. But it's going to be upside down with it this way. So let me think about whether I can do this. If I do this like this, maybe this will give me the proper result that I'm looking for here. Corner to the side and then top down. And then, yeah, so then this guy goes over here, just like that. Ooh, he's a cute little one. And these papers that I'm using today are coming from the Vintage Florist pack by Chapter 1 Papers, which I'm obsessed with. I love these. This one might not be. This one might be from something else. But anyway, most of them are from the Vintage Florist. And so you see, when you fold it that way, so let's go back here and see if we can't do this. We did it this way. We want it this way. It's gonna give me some folds in the wrong places, but that's okay. Because if we do it like this, we can put them together. And what happens, so this is what I did in the first time when I was making these. I folded 2 like this, and I had 2 like this, and I was like, huh, these would make a kind of a neat little flippy flap. Very naturally, they would go together. And so then that's what I decided to do, because then my unprinted whites are hidden too, right? Because that'll get glued in. But this will still form a pocket on the back here, like this. And I liked that a lot. Although I don't know if I cut. I must have just cut this one. I think I did do it that way just to give that a nice angle on the back. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Just trim that guy, because that is my plan with these, is to make another little one. I've got a kind of a funny bit here that didn't really take on the fold since I refolded that. Okay. I actually kind of want one that's slightly bigger. These got a little bit too little and too close in size for me. So let me take this guy. I'm gonna cut him off like this. Try to see if I can still get that pretty. Let's see. Let's try this out and see what happens if we go with this size, just based on our nice looking paper here. And then this comes down. And that was not straight at all. My goodness. Just squidge that over a little bit. Okay, and then we are doing what? I've totally lost track of myself here. I flipped that over because it's the same width, which has not been the case for my pieces before. That's interesting. Yeah, because my original triangle, let's use this one that I didn't cut. I'm getting myself all lost now. So my original triangle, I folded up and to the right. No. That's why I did this wrong again. I want to go up and to the right. My goodness. I did do a lot of things today, so my brain's a little bit fried. I'll give myself a little bit of, so that's like that. So then when you flip it over, yes, it's like this. So you want to come back like this for your third guy. Okay, so my problem is I went taller, and what I really wanted was maybe a little wider. So, but let's see, because this is the same height. And ultimately, that's going to be on my back anyway, that really pretty thing that I wanted. And it's going to get covered up because it's bigger. Although that's kind of nice. What would we like for our cover here? We've got some homeless butterflies. These papers are so ridiculously lovely. I never know quite what to do with them. I'm kind of liking this one. It's a bit of a weird combination. Let's see what it looks like if I go full size. That's the other thing too. I could cut it down and make it a smaller size journal to go to fit with this odd size of these flaps. This one is actually a little bit long even. What about this guy? Will this guy fit in here? I'll get covered up. It's the same, really the same size as this other one. I want another one that's a little taller. Let's see. What if we turn this one with the full-size page? Thinking about this. Okay, well, let's try it. With a full-size page, if we do it like this, and then over the top, and then back like this, and then that can be our third flap. I only did 2 on the other one, but I kind of like this. Ultimately, it gets layered like this, right? Yeah. And then we just need a cover. I got a little weird. Okay, I am liking this. It's eclectic. So maybe we'll make the cover a little bit more chill. And we'll go with something like this on the outside. I actually think I wanna, you know, so then it's gonna go in like this. This guy will come next, and we're gonna, I think, have to trim that one off. Just this little teeny edge here. And then this guy will go on top. And that's very, lots of different things going on, but very pretty. So, next, let's glue up. Well, first we want to ink, and then we'll glue up our pockets. Inking comes before gluing because you don't want to miss gluing anything or inking anything. It can't be done once we glue. Yay, I really like this project. It was really fun because it wasn't part of the original video. And I totally didn't intend to do anything more than just make the little pocket things. With hers, all she did was glue them onto another piece of paper in the back, and it looked really cute. But I ended up liking the idea of making a larger flippy flappy thing so much that I just ran with it. And those are the most fun projects, when you actually are just diving into playing and you just feel like doing something different. That's where the magic really comes out, right? But also these papers, oh, I just can't stop. I did use, for the last one that I made, I'll show you again here. I did use some of my own papers, and I have some of the same pack kind of thrown into the mix of things for the inside of this one too. I have one that was inspired by chapter 1 really, and they're soft vintage bluesy aesthetic, and they're called winter blue ferns, and that's in my shop. Do I want to cut this down anymore at all? Do I want it to match? It's pretty good. It's pretty close. I kind of like it. There's a little bit of white here, but I think we'll just ink that away. How does that sound to you guys? There. That's looking good. And we don't need to do the back side of the crease because that's going to get covered up with all my flaps. I will do kind of this outside part like that. Okay, so let's do our little pockets here. So we need the outside. Firstly, let's get our proper glue. The outside of this little triangle here just goes down like that. And then I've got this inside, and I think I glued it. Let me actually glue that too, because of the way I'm putting this together, it's just, I think that's the easiest route to go. So let's do that first on this one. Just glue here and here. Oops, that's a little bit on the outside. Where's my glue collector? And then we can do our triangle too. It's gonna be a heavy glue day. How you can tell when I've had kind of a lot going on in a day, and somehow the glue always just ends up being a bit of a beast on those days. There we go. That's okay. We're looking good, those two pieces. And now we've got this one. Let's glue him up. So we're gonna wanna go on the bottom, but let's put it inside on this edge so that we're not on the outside, because that's, I think, what's happening. Put that down, nice and easy. And then this guy can go here, also nice and easy. Our little flaps ready to go. Okay, so now my question is, I think I sewed, yeah, I did. So what I did for this was I sewed my pages in first. So let's go ahead and keep these. And I just made this, I didn't want to complicate this, so I just did a few pages, I think 5, and I think that's good for this time too. Let's put this one in the middle. These all of their pretty pictures are on the other side. Okay, and let's test. I think we're gonna have to cut. We're gonna have to trim our edges a little. Maybe not this one. Let's just trim those down a bit. And these papers that I'm using for the interior are all, so this is in my shop, very pretty vintage handwriting roses. And then I have these bird ones too that you can find. But they're just bits I've had hanging out. That I pulled out of the stacks. I think they're a little bit too tall too, weirdly. I don't know why. But let's see if we can make that whole stack get cut through at once. It's probably not gonna go all the way through, but we made it. All right. Now I think that should do it. My pages are all set. I'm just gonna sew them in there really quickly with a little pamphlet stitch. I'm going to clip them on here with my handy clips so they don't move around. Pull out my beeswax thread and my awl, a pokey tool. And this is like the definition of a pamphlet, so pamphlet stitch should be great. So I just poked 3 holes, one in the middle, one on each side. I'm grabbing some thread, 3 times the height, although that's always too much. But it's okay. It won't kill us if we use a little extra thread. My big-eyed bookbinding needle. And we're going out through the inside in the middle and in through the top and then all the way down and out through the bottom and back in through the middle. And if you've been here for a while, you've probably seen me do this a million times, so that's why I'm doing it very quickly. If you're a beginner, I have lots of other videos that go slower if you're still trying to learn how to do a pamphlet stitch, although I do feel like I didn't really pull that quite tight enough. So then I'm just doing 2 knots on the inside on either side of that thread in the middle to help keep it nice and secure. Clipping off my ends, and that is my little interior of this cute flappy notebook. Okay, because we want to get to the good stuff of adding our flaps and decorating, don't we? Don't we? I also put a closure on my other one. I actually glued it in behind the flaps and did a circle closure on the front, which we could do again. It's a little weird because it's like it has to go around and then back and around the circle when it comes back. This is a bit awkward. It's like it goes underneath. I'm not sure I'm totally loving that. I mean, it works out. It looks cute. It's functional. But let's think about that. If there's another way to do this, because I want it to keep the flaps closed. That's the thing. I like having something that holds on to those flaps and keeps them in there. I should have thought about this before I started the video. What are we gonna do? I like that. I'm already decorating. Why do we have to put it together? I'm just ready. With all these pretty pieces from these papers. Okay. Rachel, come back to where we are. Closure. That's the thing. I don't know. I also kind of put this the little label guy a little farther over, so that kind of felt like a closure, even though it doesn't really have enough weight to actually come all the way over. So we could, see, the problem is we need it to wrap all the way around here. I have to do it. There's just no other way to do it really, unless I put it just like on the front, and it's just like could be a circle here and a circle here, but then it doesn't close the full thing. So I think we'll just do this the same way. How does that sound? It's cute. I like it. It works. And then what I did was I put a pocket on the inside to cover up those brad legs. I like that. Let's do it. Okay, and so then what we're going to need is 2 1-inch circles. Let's get the crap out of there. 2 1-inch circles and 2 of my little circles, which I didn't bring because I didn't think I was going to do this. Okay, what else we got? Let's do this. Let's look at this. These are bigger. I could do a big and a slightly less big instead. You know, that's kind of fun. It's a little weird, but let's run with it. Making do with what we have. Okay, so what colors do we want to contrast against this from our other papers here? Something maybe like this with the music. I kind of want that label-y thing to be kept intact. So I'm thinking that guy. And then something with a pop, a little more of a pop. But I don't really want to bust up a whole piece of paper. This one has kind of these strips, you know? There's some pops of color, but I don't know that that's really gonna work. This edge. Let's try this. this guy. Maybe not quite as different from the bottom one as I wanted, but I think it'll work. So I'm going to glue my pieces together so that those have a minute to dry while we do something else. That's my littler one. Let's try to make sure that those get, that there's not any little peeking cardboard, because that they can move out of place really easily when you're fussing with them. I feel like this is gonna turn out to be a long video. We're already at 30 minutes. It's actually like making a little journal. Okay, and so I think we are gonna need to wait, but what we could do is glue our closure on. If I'm gonna glue the closure, I do also have lace. I could do lace for a change, but it's hard to make lace go around. Oh, I know what I did. I brought something. I brought this white, it's still twine, but it's this pretty cream, because I thought it would go well with these papers. So let's just see. This just really needs to come around once and then go to the, and I did 2, so I'm gonna do 2 again. Yeah, because it's tied together. Do I like that effect, or should I just do 1? Maybe let's just do 1 this time. And that's gonna go, because it's gonna get covered up by this guy. And then actually, if I put it down here, it's gonna be covered up by all of those others. So we're just gonna go right on here with our glue and attach that guy too. We're getting ready. Actually, I think that's all I have to do before I can put this guy on. And I don't think I want that to be pockets at all. So that can just get glued. Sadly, I wouldn't have needed probably to print on the back of this. It's a darn shame covering up this pretty paper, but I like what's on the front of it better, so. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of wiggle that on there, maybe leaving a little bit of room so that it still folds nicely. Just double check that. Oh yeah, the crease, that's okay. We get some of that other backing paper, pretty backing paper in the crease. That's perfectly fine. And then what can happen is we can have pockets here too if we want, like this. That's what I did with this one. I didn't on this guy. But that's fun. Okay, let's put our next one on. Yeah, because this guy's going to be white in this. And so will this one. Which, there's not really much I can do about it now. I could try to put some ink on it, but it's already had some glue there, so the ink doesn't really take all that well. So I think I'll just let it be and not worry about it. I might stagger these though. I kind of like that idea, right? So that it looks like that. I'm gonna put this guy right about up here, like that. And then this one can be pocket if I do this right. So I think I want to make it a full pocket, so I will just glue here and here. And then maybe I'm going to put a line over here too, just to be sure. I'll find where I marked. Get that sucker just about there. Just like that. Ooh, I'm pleased with this. It's turning out pretty fun. Then we've got a pocket in here, which is nice. And we are going to have this little guy be our last piece on the front that's going to go right in here. And isn't that nice? And we could have him be a pocket too. It's not quite long enough to cover up all the way over on that side. That's okay, it's very close. I think I will do a pocket there too, but I think on this one I'm just gonna do here and here. And see how well that works. I feel like I might need to do that inside too. Oh, this is fun, you guys. No, that's going to be perfect. This whole thing is going to be perfect. I kind of love it. It's going to come around like this and then wrap around that circle. I think that's very beautiful. Okay, where did our circles run off to? I think we're good to go ahead with those. Did I even bring the crocodile? I have the big one. We should be able to use the big one. Or even the awl if we need to. The pokey tool. Ooh, not quite dry yet. That's the thing. Still a little not tacky. Okay, so this guy seems to be okay. Let us give him a hole. Crocodile is set to the right thing. I'm just gonna punch through that one. And then I can find where I want this guy. I think maybe we'll want it up a little bit. Right here. That's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna just use the awl. Get myself a little hole there. And just give myself a hole. Oh, come on. They don't want to stay together. They need more time. Try to do it this way. There. And now we're going to find our brad. That actually might be a little bit of a trick. Get that through there. Big brad for these big circles. Have like 20 years worth of supply of brads, right? So that goes through my little one and my big one. And then my journal cover, which is really not that sturdy, but I think it's okay. Probably could have gone for a backing of that with something, but there. It's gonna come around like that, and it can still come up and under And actually, I almost have enough to go around twice if I wanted to. Yeah? I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna just tie a teeny little knot right at the end and leave that be. Okay. That's that, I think, for the structure. The rest is all just decorating, you guys. We're at 40 minutes. So I think I might leave the decorating for off camera. I know some of you have said you like to see it, but it can take me for ages. I have a lot of little stuff here from the Vintage Florist kit that I thought would be good to kind of fit into these. That kind of is a little too matchy of my papers, but like this could fit into here. Or this, I don't know, it might be a little too wide. I might need a skinnier one. This one I think is a little on the skinnier side. It might almost fit. I don't know. It might be just a little too wide. Anyway, I'm gonna fuss with it. I'm gonna do a few things on the cover here. Don't know what yet. Snowdrop might be a good word for this journal. But that is just about everything for this cute little journaly thing. The rest is all just filling it up and decorating it, and I'm really pleased with this. It's quirky and eclectic, but beautiful. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.